We're live.
We are, mate. There you go. So we were rocking. Sorry, Dix. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
and welcome to was it the Holy Monday, the day after the resurrection? There, thanks and praise to God for sacrificing His Son for us and giving us the eternal life, everlasting. Thank you to Sean joining me here today, mate. This is all very rush to all you digital diggers out there upon the Webbernets, to the Trigger City intercessors, to all you bull roarers and your beloved. G'day, welcome to Holy Monday. You've got two cookers on board. It's going to get crazy, fellas, going to get crazy. So, yeah, welcome to Sean. We're making this up as we go along. It's the first time on StreamYard, but, you know, fat fingers, operator problems, bear with us, and hopefully you enjoy the show. We're just having a catch-up and shoot the breeze, so to speak. Last time we were out country, probably, weren't we, mate, out in the bush with a fire and all, but yeah, in the studio today. Welcome to Mission Control, and I don't know, what do you call your little setup there, mate?
The bedroom. It's just the bedroom. I've got a dead beetle in the garage I've got to get rid of, and then probably turn the garage into a studio. But no, it's good to see you again, Dan.
That's the Southern Cross we got a photo with, isn't it, behind you there, mate? The historic one.
Yeah, that was on the picket line during the 98 Patrick. So, yeah, that was Newcastle, that flag, and it was actually my flag. So I've had that since I was an apprentice. And, you know, when the 98 dispute erupted, you know, we put it on the picket line. And when the dispute ended, one of the union officials from Trades Hall tried to steal it, and I had to chase it up to get it back. Anyway, you know, I got it back, but it's all tattered. You know, it's seen battle.
It's like this one here behind me. I've got this Phil Jones is down there behind me. You can barely see it there. I don't think he's coming to get it back. Yeah, she's tattered and she's seen all the fronts there. At least 600 days plus it saw in Canberra, 2 winters. So, and a quick shout out to all the Canberra standers there. Monumental effort, 780 something days. And along with that, here in WA, we have the Umbrella Crew, who are 850, just over the 850 days, once again, against the belligerent occupancy. We've got Chris Dawson here, the gutless general there in Canberra. And, no matter what we do, we can't complain against them. We can't charge them. We can't outvote them. We can't arrest them. It's just like they're a bollard, mate. We're still here, and so are they. So, yeah.
You know, it's an incredible effort from, you know, the blokes down in Canberra, you know, the men and women down in Canberra. Just absolutely incredible to be holding out for so long, you know. And there's people everywhere, you know, like you were just saying about the Umbrella Crew in Western Australia, you know. People are doing their thing, you know, doing whatever they can, you know, to shake the apple from the tree, I guess. But this Governor General, I mean, what a disgrace, you know. I actually wrote to him and the Attorney General maybe about a month ago in regard to Section 44 of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution, which talks about it explicitly dictates that a member of Parliament cannot have an allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power.
Yeah. I remember the post you were.
Section 61 of the Constitution dictates the role of the Governor General, which is to uphold the Constitution. So, yeah, I haven't. That was maybe a month ago. I requested a response from both officers, and they just treat you with contempt, you know. But like I was saying earlier, I've got another FOI request, which now currently sits with the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner. So I went through a lengthy process. This is almost 12 months ago. I went through a lengthy process, having applied to the Attorney General, and they denied it. You know, they denied the request, although they couldn't deny. I had to revise the request through consultation with them. Revised the request, The initial request identified 1,500 documents that fell within scope. They denied it, offered consultation. I accepted consultation, revised the request, streamlined it. They then wrote back and said that they've identified 275 documents that fell within scope. Again, denied it. So when I revised it and streamlined it, I just focused on the United Nations as to whether the United Nations would, by definition, constitute a foreign power.
Yes.
They denied it. You and I know full well that it does, right?
Yeah.
That it would. So they denied it. I then had to do an internal review through the Attorney General's office. They upheld the decision. So now it sits with the Office of the Attorney General, and they have since, it now sits with the Australian Information Commissioner, and they have written to the Office of the Department of the Attorney General asking why they've denied the information request. So hopefully I can get that back sometime soon, because my belief is that if we can get that information, all this stuff about the United Nations, the WHO, the World Economic Forum, that's all dead in the water. So,
yeah, well, they're trying to bring us to full systemic failure, mate, and we're not. We're doing this lawfully by the book. It's taken all of us all these years to get this far, just knocking on the door, whether it's by choice or the different doors, or whether it's due to the overreach, and we've been dragged into the courts, law front, and fast-tracked that way. We've done everything we can, and hence why I approve and fully endorse and support this national strike. And we're on strike. Incredible, mate. So that moves in support of all these fronts, the most peaceful way possible to bring them to their knees. And this first strike, the council strike, it's just it's genius. Just don't pay your rates unless they can prove that they lawfully can take them from you. And we know that they can't. It's been proven on every...
Yeah. Well, there's been... I think there's been 4 referendums in Australia in regard to...
I know of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been 4. So I think it was 1974. I think it started in 1974. There was another one in 1988. Was it 1988? 1998, the referendum for the Republic had a thing in the preamble. It was to do with the preamble, inserting council recognition. Then, so that was the third. Then I think it was 2013, Julia Gillard. I think it was 2013. Julia Gillard was going to try again, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was put before the Senate, or it currently still sits with the Senate to recognise councils within the Constitution. Then, of course, so actually I think there's been 5, because the last attempt with the Voice, that was just a backdoor attempt to recognise Aboriginal land councils, and they go, "Oh, we've got land councils." Just scumbaggery,
Yeah, and what they're doing an essay with that against our vote. Well, it's actually almost going to separate them. It's almost like starting a civil war. Not that we're going to go to war as the men and women of this country, mate. We know we're slow to anger, and we're not that bloody stupid. We know that's their game plan, so we'd be the most righteous role models that we can be. The peaceful with power. I mean, as peaceful, we're not harmless, not at all, but righteous anger isn't violent at all, ever. And so, yeah, mate, if anything, we move into a position of peaceful power, and then it'll push the belligerent occupancy into an action which is generally unlawful, and that's how we've got here this far, and hence how we've found the ways, and hence why we are now at a national strike. But all that, I mean, we could spend here hours shooting the breeze on that, and we probably will. Now, once I've got all this sorted now, and the fat fingers and all these little teething problems out of the way, we can get online a lot more often with more people and really shoot the breeze on these subjects. But, mate, more importantly, sorry?
Yeah, no, the national strike, this strategy and tactic actually arose out of Ireland. It's actually... we should talk on this because there's historical relevance here. So it
Yeah,
manifested out of Ireland, right? Manifested out of Ireland, and the term boycott was actually now I think his name may have been Charles Boycott. Now he was a land manager for the English, right? So as you know, the English came in, dispossessed the Irish of their land, just moved them on. It's not your land anymore. My family, in fact, one of them was he was actually a barrister. He was debarred and not allowed to practice anymore because he was a Catholic, wrong religion. And we actually lost land in Ireland. We had it taken off us. And I think my grandfather, I'm just trying to think when it was, must have been in the 1950s.
And I'm not sure when we came across. We've been here a few generations now, but all the reasons why they moved the people across the realm, yeah.
But so it was Charles Boycott, and what the Irish did was they refused to pay rent, and they withdrew their labour. Now, Arthur Balfour, you heard that name before?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Secretary for Ireland, Chief Secretary for Ireland, Arthur Balfour. He then moved in with his black and tans, and quite brutal. If the Irish, resisted, they'd just get shot. They'd just shoot them. When Balfour was finished in Ireland, Balfour went to Palestine, took his black and tans with him, and set up this Zionist state, right? So when they finished in Ireland, they set up Northern Ireland, the little Zionist shithole that it is, right? Then they've finished in Ireland, off he trots to Palestine, sets up the Zionist state of Israel with the Balfour Declaration. So this is why the people of Ireland and Palestine, there is such a strong connection, and it's not just from Balfour; it goes back thousands of years. Of course, like we could talk about the Exodus, we could talk about Moses and the Exodus if people really want to get into Irish history. But for me, this is why I'm so involved with the Palestine issue, because of the historical context, and eventually. We're all going to meet in the middle. We're all fighting for the same cause. So all this technology that was introduced, that we experienced in Canberra, the surveillance trailers, the facial recognition, the drones, the energy weapons. This is all Israeli technology, and they were using it on the Palestinians. They were trialing it and developing it on the Palestinians. They've got AI machine guns on borders.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mate, we were the modern soldier back then. I could only imagine how modern they are nowadays. Yeah.
They've got autonomous machine guns, AI, and if you don't have a pass, if you don't have the right digital identity, it just shoots you. So this is why it's important for the freedom movement to understand why we need to be supporting Palestine, because everything is interconnected. It's all interrelated. Eventually, we're all going to meet in the middle. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm working with the Palestinian movement and the trade unions, and irrespective as to what they've done, like they didn't support, they accepted the lockdowns and the jabs and all the rest of it. We have to move on, right? We still have to continue trying to organise, come together. We have to build this united front and fight back. Holding a grudge is not going to achieve anything.
Trigger City's not going to achieve anything, mate. We've really got to be tempered. We've got to be super cool here, mate. And while we remain untriggered, it generally compromises the other side as being triggered. It brings them into the bad behaviour. Mate, yeah, very much driven, much the same. Obviously, I want to bring restore honour back to our ancestors and the spirit of the Anzacs. And while raucous are deployed overseas at the moment against some other country who are standing in against genocide, like we should be, as a part of the Geneva Genocide Act there in 1949, I think it was, which we ratified. I guess what that means, go rat on you and I. Yeah, I don't know, I have to research that one. But yeah, at the moment, and our diggers are on trial. And once again, we saw this week with the Angus Campbell. Mate, he just said top brass absolved, and we're going to continue down the same path of grooming future leaders as a part of the Males Champions for Change, and his wife obviously being the absolute head in this corporation for gender equality. It's just massive conflicts of interest, let alone now that we're with AUKUS. They're definitely a foreign entity, our forces. There's a conflict of oaths of allegiance too between countries and things like that. Now that we're on national strike, mate, I was about to put after this here today, I'll be putting the call out for the national strike. I've got a quick 5 minutes there. But, mate, our diggers, if you're listening, we love you very much. It's time to come home. I know you just can't basically leave and become AWOL, but we love you more than they do. You are unlawful where you are. You're in danger. It is time to come home and restore family and sovereignty here. It's time for us to clean house. The best way we can honour the Anzacs and our ancestors of all the countrymen and countrywomen is come home and not get involved. Clean house. We have the Duckadali Australis who have declared peace, and this is a demilitarised zone. Breaking news on the Freedom Fronts on the Telegram there today, and that is about to escalate too. So my first priority to catch up with you, Sean, hear about the Palestine front, which you stand pretty much alone, mate. You've created your own front, and because it means so much to you. And they're in New South Wales, and I just cannot believe the amount of engagement by people. It's got more people than I've seen on any other front, other than someone that chases the rainbows for all the wrong reasons. But mate, I could go on for hours. Sorry. Once again, the paid inserts on these fronts. But mate, please let's hand over to you and tell us about this front and standing up for Palestine, as it was called back in the days of King Herod, even when Jesus was in Bethlehem and things like that, mate. It was Palestine.
Well, it even goes back to the Pharaoh Ramses. It was known as Palestine, and interestingly, there was a it still might be on display. There's an exhibition in Sydney at the museum there. And it's all about Egypt, and it's all about Ramses, the wars that he had, and his rule. Now, as part of the exhibition, the curators have, and this is the Egyptians, of course. They've put up, like a little placard there, and talking about, one of the battles. I think the battles was with Hittites. Now, out of that battle with the Hittites, 17 years later, the number 17, right? 17 years later came the first peace accord. Now, that peace accord is still referred to today. Now, in the little spiel that was there, it mentioned Palestine. I think it said Palestine, Syria. Now, the Zionists here in Sydney got their noses right out of joint about that. And you could imagine the kind of noses that they do have, right? Got their noses out of joint, demanded that it be changed. And of course, the museum buckled to the Zionist power and said, okay, we're sorry, but it's just incredible. So these people want to rewrite history. They're trying to rewrite history, and then they want to cherry pick from the Bible, what suits them. It's incredible. It's incredible stuff. But the reason why Palestine is so important to me, Dan, is you probably recall my great grandfather served in Palestine in World War I and World War II. He was a frontline digger. Assault pioneer, First World War, Second World War, went back and served with the British. I think it was so it was First Army. I think it was the 8th Expeditionary Force or something. Anyway, he was on an anti-aircraft gun, shooting down Messerschmitts. And then when they're not shooting down Messerschmitts, they're being attacked by these Israeli fucking terrorist groups. The Stern Gang and absolutely crazy. And what's not spoken about is how, Nazi Germany was actually financed by Zionist bankers. This stuff's not spoken about. And then, of course, the Zionist Federation of Germany had an agreement with the Nazis to get the wealthy Jews into Palestine. The Havara Agreement. None of this stuff's spoken about. So, they try to reinvent history and God's chosen people, and even the Bible. Even the Bible talks about, Dan, I love research and I love history. But you go into the Bible, 2 Kings 17:17. It talks about how they were sacrificing their children to the fire.
I was reading that today. 17. Where did that come? It doesn't matter, mate, because I'm the same. I've been chained to this desk, and
sacrificing their children to the fire, which was actually they were sacrificing their children to Moloch. Right. So Moloch is also the Minotaur.
Yep.
The Minotaur from ancient, from Greece, Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Now, what this actually is, they're actually constellations. They're star worshippers. They're star worshippers. Now, Taurus is actually the 17th constellation.
Stop it.
It's unbelievable stuff. And even in Acts 7:43, and I think it was Saint Stephen. Saint Stephen called them out, and then, if I recall correctly, he was martyred. So he had a falling out with the rabbis, and he called them out. He said, and this God of yours is the star of Ramphon, which is Moloch. I just forget the exact passage. Acts 7:43. So this, they talk about the Star of David. It's not the Star of David at all. It's the Star of Ramphon, which is associated with Saturn, and it's also associated with Moloch, which, Taurus. And then there's a few other constellations in there as well, and other stars. But this it's not the Star of David. It's the seal of Solomon. Solomon was into witchcraft and devil. It's just incredible stuff. But, there's this mass awakening happening now, and people are just coming to this information like it's just coming to them. But I do believe that we will see justice in Palestine. And these people, there's documentation in Jewish encyclopedias where it says it's wrong to refer to these people as Hebrews or Jews because they're Edomites. And now these Edomites were actually worshipping a horned god by the name of Quos. Q-O-S, Quos.
Yeah, mate.
The horned god. Yeah. Moses was depicted in Renaissance art with horns. What's all this about?
We've had a conversation about Moses and a few other things that we've tried to sort of decode and we don't feel quite comfortable with. Wow, mate, eh? Yeah. So far back.
Yeah, sacrificing. But think about where we are today, sacrificing children. That is exactly what is going on here today. Now, there's a cult. There's actually a cult within this Zionist, this Zionist construct, and they're known as Sabbatean Frankists. Now, these Sabbatean Frankists, they're a death cult, and what they believe is that by doing evil, they're going to manifest the Messiah, the return of the Messiah or the Antichrist, right? Now, Karl Marx is credited as having authored the Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx was not only a Zionist, he was also a Freemason, and he was mentored by a man by the name of Moses Hess, who was also a Zionist and a Sabbatean Frankist. Right? Now, Karl Marx, that's not actually his real name. His real name is Moses Mordecai Levi. Now, there's an interesting letter that was sent to Karl Marx by another man by the name of Baruch Levi. Now, perhaps they're related. I don't know. I haven't ventured down that path yet. But this letter from Baruch Levi to Karl Marx basically spells out how these, they don't refer to themselves as Zionists, but how these Jewish people are going to rule the world. And everyone else is going to be like their goyim, like their cattle, I
know a couple of years ago, Netanyahu, he tried to warn Putin that there's 6 million Jews here that are in danger. I think maybe this week Putin might have reminded him that Khazarians aren't Jews. I think that might have happened. But anyway, continue. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I think he might have told him about Tartaria as well.
Yeah. Well, it's breaking now, isn't it? You had to think that we've been sitting on this for a while and seeing it unfold, mate. It's refreshing. It's just like taking a weight off. We can almost just sit back on cruise control now, but once again, continue on.
Even the I think it was like up until the 1860s or something, Tartaria was depicted in maps of the world, and the flag of Tartaria depicted this reptile serpent, and then think about St. George, right? The iconography of St. George slaying the serpent. That's the state emblem of Russia.
It's the Welsh flag too, I believe.
Yeah. The serpent, this dragon and serpent worship, and St. Patrick, drove the snakes out of Ireland. That's what it was all about. They had to clean up and get rid of all this evilness. But yeah, it's what a time to be alive. Like.
And the way I'm doing it is just stuck in the research, mate. Like I said, just wake up chained to this bloody desk at the moment. I almost need to go do my bees and my gardening for a bit of a distraction just to get out of here. Because it's you're craving that information. You want to put the pieces together because we've been on this for quite a while, mate. And I know I've got a lot of things wrong, mate. I think it was back in 2018 or something when they said that the capital of the US embassy is going to move to Jerusalem and identify it as a capital. And I thought, oh, yeah. Mate, I was wrong. I was so wrong. So what do we do now? Well, we double check and we research and we speak with mates and we discern and ask for God, because I didn't come here to be a false prophet. I didn't come to lie. We've come for the truth. And about the only truth I can come and actually declare to you is yesterday he is risen, mate, and saved and paid for our sins. It's about all I can say. Other than that, I can just shoot the breeze with you and let's lay it all out. I know that each one of us that are awake all have a little piece of the pie, and that's a good thing, mate, because it'll bring us together.
Sorry. Yeah, it's just incredible, so these Zionists, they're intending to sacrifice these red heifers. I don't know if you know about that.
On Mount Olives, eh?
Yeah.
This is to get ready for the third temple, isn't it?
So, see, this is the thing. They've never accepted Jesus as being the Son of God, right?
They're still in the Old Testament, mate. Yeah, they're still in the Old Testament. They'll be judged by that.
Yeah, they're still pushing this Old Testament. That's done. The Old Testament's finished,
Done, mate.
So
I just washed my hair all over. I'll get a haircut soon. That's why I got my hat on indoors.
So they're saying this is why, so what happened, like the Middle East, these Zionists, Mossad and fucking CIA, they create these terror groups, right? They create these front groups like ISIS.
ASIO.
Yeah, they're probably in on it too. But, well, they were back in the Lebanon,
Well, I see no difference, mate. CIA, ASIO, Mossad, Hamas, ASIO. Yeah, no, the same, mate.
Yeah, they're all the same. So, they've been creating these, and that's why we've got the Five Eyes now, right? They're all conspiring with each other.
Mate, yeah.
Forever wars,
Raucous. It's an absolute raucous, mate. Five Eyes. Mate, country. All our spooks are not overseas on foreign lands, mate. They're in here in our shopping centres and our work and I. Once again, national strike. Get it done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this Hamas, they're all Hamas. They were actually created by Mossad. Mossad to split the power, take the power away from the PLO because Arafat was about to deliver a Palestinian state. So Netanyahu and Mossad, they've come up with this Hamas. Let's radicalize them more. And this is what they did in Saudi Arabia. This is, the what do they call it? The Wahhabi, or whatever it is, right? They've radicalized Islam so that forever wars, we've got to extinguish these terror groups. Meanwhile, they're funding them. Like, remember, ISIS was funded by the US State Department. This is all coming out.
Sure, mate, because I'm pretty sure a lot of our taxpayers' money went there via the Clinton Foundation, through the Rudds, through the bloody Gillards, or now the Wongs, and still they're there unaccountable, mate. Yeah, sorry, I'll stop butting in, but yeah, I'm that angry.
Yeah, exactly. They're just laundering money. Like
Julie Bishop, she's the worst, mate.
Mate, I can't believe how despotic these people are, and they are just blatant about it. That Penny Wong was on TV the other day, and when she was asked about the genocide, she was smirking about it, like she thought it was funny or something. No empathy, no compassion, just utter evil. And this is all this LGBT MK Ultra.
The Raucous are actually fighting alongside ISIS now, mate. And that's through all their headlines over there. And if that doesn't get us angry, mate, I lost mate over there against them.
Yeah.
Who's looking after his children, mate? Sorry, I'll stop. Because we're approaching Anzac Day, and they're going to say that we're a free, lucky country. And I need to contain myself, mate, because I'm about to stop one of the largest groups of people walking down the street here in Perth and saying, bloody no, I've had enough, mate. There's not free country. But calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. I was, I got mates here in the RSL, in the local sub-branch, and some of them, I don't know if they've been jab injured or, but they don't think properly anymore.
And their duty's done. They've done it. We don't need it. Yeah, they're forgiven. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you're saying, mate.
Talking about the Ukraine, like, they've just got no idea. Yeah. Unbelievable stuff. Like, it's just incredible how disconnected some not everyone, a lot of people are waking up, but there's still this element within the communities, this disconnect.
Yeah. A lot of soldiers have left the Defence Force because of this. They didn't like where it's going. A lot of police left the AFP and their local state police force because they saw it happening and they made that moral choice. And God bloody bless them, mate. But it's just that last mob, and we've got to do it before they bring these foreign troops in that they've mandated to be legal here in Australia, mate, because they don't care about us. They have no oath of allegiance for us either, and they won't be held accountable to any bloody law. They just get to get on the plane and go home.
Yeah, I remember when Morrison legislated that. Was that 20? That must have been 2020. I think it was.
I think it's even coming into state legislations as well. I mean, like I said, so much is moving. They're at a rapid rate to push all this through now before we really do get on the front foot with these initiatives started. And I think that's what, once again, a credit to all the people on the fronts and Canberra in particular, because I think Albanese got selected in. He swore his oath of allegiance not to the Constitution, everything but just about. And what he come in and do? Try to change the Constitution. And it's the Constitution ultimately that will be our safety net. Although, according to with my post there today, I endorse, support and recognise grandmother's law as having more power of authority than their legal acts and mandates of the corporation here at the moment. So guess what, mate? We're leaning that way, mate. They're done. And they are a real power of authority, and they're very organised, this mob, Duckadalia Australis. Mm.
Yeah, there's something similar going on down here in the Illawarra, where the elders are fighting back and using their law.
They didn't know contract treaty, mate. They've saved our asses. They really have. And why this is such a deceit happening in South Australia at the moment? It's like you can't fix stupid, and they're going there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's it's just incredible everything that's going on.
You're winding me up, mate. I'm getting wound up here.
Albanese has not been in his electorate office for 6 weeks. His electorate office has been besieged. So the Palestinian activists have besieged his office. He nor his staff have been there for 6 weeks, and they're about to start door knocking his electorate. So he's going to end up like Howard, right? He's going to lose his seat, but he'll be a one-term prime minister, like Howard lost Bennelong, and then I think it was Robert Stanley Bruce. So there's only ever been, he'll be the third prime minister in our country to lose his seat.
You've got a good memory, mate. Yeah.
And do you know he was actually the man who started Parliamentary Friends for Palestine?
Yeah, right.
So let that sink in for a moment. He started Parliamentary Friends for Palestine, and now he's forsaken and abandoned them, like a Judas, complete Judas. But just a complete, on reflection of his political career, he's just been an absolute opportunist. He's done whatever he could to climb the greasy pole, and now, he's starting to slide back down the greasy pole.
Well, they're mocking us, mate. They brought us into so much disrepute. They're just blatantly mocking us. You couldn't make up that sort of incompetence in which they're, participating in.
Well, someone was telling me the other day about the birth certificates, that there was something released about the birth certificates, but I just forget what it entailed. Because there's so much information that you're reading each day, and then you're researching as well and trying to remember everything. Yeah. You just can't do it.
Yeah, you need to read and put your ear like this, mate, because it's just going straight in one out the other. Over a period of time, I've retained it, and especially law, it's taken a long time to retain. But yeah, I almost need to stop it so it doesn't go out the other side, mate. Because it's a fast track research, isn't it? We really have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the amount of information that we are consuming, and then trying to retain. It's a hard gig, Like I'm writing stuff down, as
I've got books and books there, but yeah. Once I've written it down, a lot of it stays in there. But once again, if you've got a good group of friends or a solid front, like we did in Canberra, we just shoot the breeze off each other, and all you're talking is law. Every break, every little group, slide section, it's all law. Everyone watching the word. You use one wrong word, they get pulled up. No, not that word. Oh, yeah, right. We really have trained each other to be there where we need to be now. Own the word, own the law.
It's good. It's I just can't believe the level of corruption. That what they're doing and what they. Like, they're not stopping. They're going hell for leather, right? But they're not getting away with it. Like, they're not. They would have anticipated to have been well advanced in their agenda, and they're not. They're actually not.
If they knew what I know right now, mate, they'd be shitting themselves. Watch this, space dicks.
Yeah. Yeah. No. There's interestingly, so. There's another rally coming up next Saturday, and this is involving the trade union. So, like I've said before, we're all going to meet in the middle. We're all going to meet in the middle eventually. It's not too far away. So, with everything that's happening in Palestine, these F-35s, they've actually got. We manufacture components and parts, and for these F-35s here in Australia. It's fucking incredible that we do this, because from an engineering perspective, this is why the F-35s are riddled with fucking problems, right? This is why, I'll try and explain it as quickly as I can, but the HMAS Canberra and the HMAS Adelaide are sister vessels.
Identical in every way. Yeah.
Except the Adelaide is 300 mil longer than the Canberra. Do you know why? Because the HMAS Adelaide was laid up in summer, and the Canberra was laid up in winter. So the contraction of the steel.
Not much.
So the contraction of the steel is why the Adelaide is longer than the Canberra. Now, this is why the F-35s are just a monumental fuck up, because they're building bits and pieces for them throughout the world, right?
Yeah.
Now, depending on where you're building them, temperature, climate, when you try and gauge something, you put the micrometer on it. It might measure up to spec here, but when they send it over to the warmer climate, well, she's going to grow. This is why these things are all fucked up. You don't build aircraft, bits and pieces for aircraft throughout the world and then try and marry them up, and build a plane out of it. It doesn't work. So anyway, that's the problem with the F-35s, right? Now, there's going to be a protest next Saturday. All the trade unions are going to turn up to this factory out of Bankstown and try and blockade and protest and whatever. Now, this is really good stuff because it's bringing the unions together. And of course, no one wants a third world war. This is what they're aiming for. No one wants to send their sons and daughters off, or their nephews or nieces off to a war, because they won't come back.
No, they won't, mate. They're going to send our troops against another country, and another country is going to come in against us, mate.
Yeah, and it'll probably end up a nuclear war, and this is what these Zionists, they're aiming for a biblical war, of fire and, a nuclear war where all the nations stand against
religious. I think they want a religious war. But we know that this is a spiritual war. So yeah,
that's what they're aiming for. So eventually we're all going to meet up in the middle together, and we'll have a national strike. We'll probably have an international strike. The people will just rise up and say, "That's it, no more. You're done." Right? All you dirty bankers, all you dirty stock. You're all done. You're finished.
The international strike, we're that close, mate. I think a lot of it's on the back of the good work of Guru and Bosi really going out there international and engaging with the freedom fighters across the realm here, mate. So because of that hard work, and it's taken a long time to really get in there, and now they're seen as role models in this war, in this present now. And, mate, we're getting there.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far away.
Strike. A united international strike. It's not as silly as it sounds.
Like it'll start. So it'll start with a national strike, and then what I see with this this ethnic cleansing of Palestine and these fucking war crimes, it'll end up an international strike, and it will be led by the maritime unions. It'll be the maritime unions that blockade. They'll just blockade Israel. They'll say, "That's it, you're done. No cargo in, no cargo out." They'll just choke them. They'll choke them economically. And then, of course, it'll start with the maritime unions. Then it'll be the transport unions. Then it'll be the energy unions. They're done. My view is that the Zionist state, they're finished.
I was sort of thinking a little bit like Beersheba, where the first charge we defeated them, but we went back because we thought we hadn't. The second charge, they were done, and they couldn't believe that we still hadn't taken them. The third charge, the horses could smell the water, and there's no turning back. I wonder if the Governor General was sitting in his office out there, and he's on, "Well, I'm still here." It's imminent, mate. For all the right reasons.
I think the Governor General, I don't think too much of him, by the way, but I think he's probably wearing man-size Huggies. He's probably been wearing man-size Huggies for the last 4 years and hoping this all goes away, and it's not going away. It's not going away. I think
he can eat his scones due reflux at the moment, but I don't care about that.
But people are pissed off. People are waking up. They know.
Got every bloody right to do, mate. Yeah.
The cost of fuel, it's $2.09 a litre for diesel. It's nearly $2.50 a litre for unleaded. It's just obscene. You go down to you try and support local business the best you can, right? A big supporter of small business. Small business is the backbone of the economy, Australia was built on small business entrepreneurship. The small business kept it going. It's kept us going. But we're at a stage now where, Klaus Schwab and these corporations, they want to run everything, right? But unfortunately, there are times you have to go to Coles. I detest going there, but unfortunately, where I live, it's sometimes you got to go to Coles. You go to Coles.
You can't trust the water, mate, and you can't get that pure water anywhere bloody else.
The cost of food is going through the roof.
And no one's whinged yet, eh? Everyone just yet slowly puts their head down. I'm just waiting for that one person to go off their dial, and I'm going to go stand beside them and say, you know what, you've got every right to be here, mate, like this. Give them your peace of mind. You've got every right, and then we're both going to walk away, and I'll show you how we're going to fight this because we're already on it. But stand by your mates.
Well, I think the one thing about the freedom movement that come out of the freedom movement is that, the networking, people are working together now, right? So people, as tragic as it was, people lost their jobs, they lost their livelihoods, but they fell off the horse. They got back on the horse. Now some of these people are doing, they've become natural health workers. So they got kicked out of the system, the establishment system, right? But now they're offering, medicinal, like herbal products and natural medicines. So there's been this whole, what do you call it? Like, what do we call them? Like
progress or evolving or a transition move into.
Like they've diversified, right? They've diversified, but they've gone a better way. Like they've moved into natural health, organic food. Like a kind of like a subculture, if that makes sense.
Subculture.
So people have gotten back on their feet now, right? And they're better for it. And we've actually got this community, this network community now within the freedom movement where, people are working and trading with each other and, which is a good thing.
It's starting to mesh beautifully, mate, isn't it? It's starting to mesh like a well-oiled machine. And we are united right across this country, mate. Incredible. Yeah.
It is.
And we back each other up, mate. Phil and Corey say that. You're in court, mate. We're there. Everyone come to court. We're backing each other up. It's the same sort of thing I'm hoping that we'll replicate here in WA as people get angrier. One step at a time. I think we're almost there.
Yeah, I was at I went to a picket line the other night. Well, not a picket line, sorry, a blockade. I was actually on a blockade. So we blockaded the Port Botany. So I was there with the Palestinian protesters, and a few of the blokes I used to work with. One of the union officials was there. So the MUA were actually on the front line. So we marched to the
reports. Yeah.
We marched to the front. It was kind of what's the word? Had a few flashbacks, right? Because that's where I used to work, Dan, before I was unceremoniously exiled. So we've marched to the front of Port Botany. There's about 200 or 300 of us. All the coppers. You should have seen the coppers. They had the Raptor squad. They had everyone there. They were ready for a blue. The fucking.
You're our heat seekers, mate. You're seeking the heat from us. Drag all the coppers over there, and we'll get the job done over here.
So we marched. So we marched across the road. They had the entire foreshore road cut off, right? So not even
I've seen all the footage, mate. It's incredible.
It was.
Yeah, right.
Like I started having flashbacks of the '98 dispute. I'm thinking, fuck, this could turn fucking nasty, Like
we lost figures out of the military into there, yeah.
So we've marched across the road and we've fronted up to the constabulary, and we're all standing there and we're chanting and all the mate. You should have seen it. It was unbelievable. They actually had a speaker system that was set up on wheels, right? Yep. And these young women, these Palestinian women, they don't back down, right? They don't back down. They've charged across the road with this speaker system on wheels, right? And then they've got the loudhailer, and and they've told them, they said, we're here for a peaceful protest and all the rest of it. We just want the government to recognise the genocide, the ethnic cleansing. We're not here to cause trouble. So we've had our say, and then the inspectors read the Riot Act to us. He's read the Riot Act to us. If you don't disperse, you're disobeying an order or whatever it was. So then we all sit down. We all sat down. We linked arms, and then, mate, that was it. They sent in the riot squad. They sent the riot squad in. The first line of defence were the MUA. One of the officials who I used to work with, Paul Keating, it took three or four coppers to drag him away. I mean, they're probably gone off on workers' comp or something now, stress or fucking back injuries, whatever.
That's right, mate. Let them do it, yeah. Fully paid, 3 years? Mate, yeah, everyone should do it. Every cop should do that now, mate. Take stress leave. And just come and join us. We'll stand down quick, smart, mate. Yep.
Absolutely. And if they want some advice on how to go about their workers' compensation claim, I know a really good doctor. The workers' doctor.
They can be trusted, yeah.
He actually represents workers. He hates insurance companies, But anyway, so they took 19. They arrested 19. I think they got their quota. I think it's all about quotas. And then we're basically told to fighting withdrawal. So we're all linked arms, and we're walking backwards. The coppers are trying to pluck us off at the edges, So we're all linking arms and marching backwards, all linking arms, and I've got these Arab women, Palestinian women with me, and other blokes, and we're all linking arms, and we're backpedaling, marching backward across the road. Well, then
it's not funny, mate. It isn't, but yeah.
On reflection, at least we can have a laugh about it. But
you've got training in you too, mate. You just do it better next time.
Well, that's it, So we actually saved a couple of guys from being arrested, which was just remarkable. So when the riot squad come for their second grab, right, we then horseshoed, right, and this is a tactic, right? So remember, what would you call it? I forget what they call it. You say we were open. Is it open flank?
Open fire.
Open fire.
Yep.
So then, when they've come at us, right? So they've come at the middle to try and snatch a few more protesters, right? So then, what we did, we essentially closed ranks and horseshoed them, right?
Yeah,
we horseshoed them, and because we were horseshoeing them, then they thought, well, they're going to get encircled, right? That's the tactic. You want to horseshoe them.
Where all this, Diggs? We've got this, Diggs. We've got this.
So you horseshoe them, right? So from open fire, then what you do is your flanks then come around and you horseshoe them, right? Now you still want to let them have a way out, right? You don't want to
definitely,
right?
Yeah.
Unless it's real nasty, but you want to give them a means to get out, right? It's about the psychological.
Because this is peaceful, mate. Everyone deserves to go home safe at night. There's the exit. That's right. Not exactly, like the police coming in black uniforms and chasing you through the streets with rubber bullets until they've got it. No. We don't play like that.
Right? So we give them the opportunity, right? So it's horseshoeing. It's a tactic. And of course the psychological effect, right? They want to get out, right? So we've horseshoed these coppers. Well, they've had to let these guys go. They had to let these protesters go. Now, what happened years ago in I think it was '98 when the unions went down to Canberra? They actually had a blue with the AFP. Well, the unions actually stormed Parliament House. That's why they've now got the active denial system. at Parliament House. That's that heat thing, right? So they've got they call it an active denial system, and it's why they've got the fences around Parliament House. And that was all because of, well, they're living in fear, right? They don't want us to overrun the joint.
And we're not welcome there.
No, that's a corporation.
Park's closed, mate. Not welcome.
Yeah, no, we're not welcome there. But what happened there was that when the trade unions were down there, they actually horseshoed a couple of, and when I say horseshoe, I'm not talking about putting a horseshoe in a boxing glove. Yeah. I'm talking about the tactic,
flanking.
Right?
It's a reverse arrow coming in an arrowhead, but it's actually coming up flank and actually encircling, leaving the opening. You've got no other way out but backwards, mate.
Exactly.
And go there bloody rapidly.
So, like these are great tactics that protesters need to learn how to use. The left wing, the left wing are quite versed in this stuff, and because it come out of trade union, trade union activism and actions, going back hundreds of years, but it was fantastic to see. It was fantastic to see this stuff. I tell you how good it's been with being involved with this Palestinian action. So one of the other left wing groups. So a few weeks ago, I'm at the rally. Now one of the groups, every time they come to an intersection, they would actually kneel down, and it was all choreographed. They would kneel down. They were banging drums, and it was all proper music. They were banging drums, and it was all beating rhythm. And then they'd jump up, and the energy that the energy and the way they were expressing themselves was incredible. They were literally putting on a performance for the people in Sydney, on the side, who were just in the street watching this stuff. It was absolutely amazing to watch, But yeah, look, it's all good, and eventually we're going to meet up in the middle. We're all going to meet up in the middle. It'll be a national strike. It'll be an international strike. These bankers will get chased out of, they'll get chased out of town. But yeah, eventually we're all going to meet up in the middle.
It's because the only other real protests on that I know of, you got Melbourne, mate, and you see what's happened to Shane down there on auditing Australia during the week. I mean, we're doing we're doing Forest of the Falling, mate. They're doing Forest of the Filth right there in Main Street, Melbourne. And I know what you're saying about musical content in protest. This is just noise, just bang, bang, and the behaviour, incredible. I think he's done very well to remain untriggered and unresponsive in the face of that, because they've tried to wheel him into it. But
some of these young lefties are. I don't know if they're fucking heavily medicated on psychiatric medication or whatever it is they're on, but just completely unhinged, So I got fucking challenged yesterday about that Freedom Front Canberra shirt that you gave me.
Yeah, you was telling me.
Got told that was an extreme right wing group. This guy
sounds like no matter what you said, he wanted to try and get you for something. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So I end up feeding him. I end up feeding him with well, what about your mate Karl Marx being a Zionist? And he didn't. Then gave him a history lesson. He didn't like that. But look, it's all good. Like eventually these people, they're going to get educated. It'll take some time, but there's no reason for these lefties and these Black Lives Matter people and the way they carry on with the aggression and the violence. There's no need for that. That's right. If you can't get your point across without threats or violence, or
well, that's right. And if you can't get your way across, then you don't deserve the keys to this kingdom, mate. Not worthy of that trust and the power of what it takes to take it back. For all those people that are really worried about where we're going with it, and I sympathise. Are we going to have a strike? Well, this is going to do this, and my kids and this and this. Look, I sympathise, but I don't apologise, mate. Not when you quite clearly see, the way the digital ID went in through Parliament the other day. 48 children a day go missing, according to AFP websites. It just doesn't stop. Mate, I wrote bloody lists of it here.
Well, there's 20,000. There's 20,000 children that go missing each year in Australia. Like, where do they go?
Death rates rising, live births down. The unlawful, unconstitutional mandates continue. The no oaths of allegiance. The Attorney General and GG, both Zionists and won't hold accountability for anything. They vowed to protect the vulnerable and whistleblowers. Neither. Bang, gone. Police, the pollies are bringing this into disrepute. They're taking the bloody money. The New World Order, World Economic Fund, UN, WHO, NATO. It's gone and on, mate. And I've got pages of it here. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, anyone who wants to whinge, yeah, I sympathise. But we've got this. We've really got to have each other's backs here, and get this job done. Close the borders here and bring ourselves home. Bring everyone home, mate. We'll get powerful again. We've got everything we need right here, and we'll make sure none of us fall down. And I've been working all day, so
it's really interesting. Like, so I've been doing a lot of research into this, this whole United Nations, like fucking the nexus, the genesis of it, and it was actually Doc Evatt. I don't know if I've already said this, but
Doc Evatt.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, wasn't it? Oh, that's Doc Emmett Brown. Sorry.
Yes. So Doc Evatt was a former Attorney General, Labor, Fabian Socialist, High Court judge. So just after World War II, he was actually instrumental in setting up the United Nations and touted Jerusalem as being an international city. He was a Zionist. So that's how far back this goes. Obviously it goes back to Balfour. Australia was actually, so all this promised land nonsense, right? Australia was actually touted, the northwestern region, the Kimberleys, was actually touted as a location for resettlement.
Noonkanbah Station. It was actually gifted to Israel if they wanted to come in. I've got a few of the docs up, but I never got back. I can't remember how it was quashed or anything, or whether that Jerusalem came up or something. We all knew which one they wanted anyway. But yeah, mate, we were about to have it here.
Yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure it was John Curtin. I think John Curtin knocked it on the head. I think. I'm
mind you, we got Oh shit. I forgot about that other bloke who called sovereignty just up here too at that river. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's incredible. Just absolutely incredible. The lies that we've been told throughout history, and of course these are all the lies that they've told us are now being exposed. I actually met a very interesting bloke a few weeks ago when I covered the Russian presidential election at the Russian consulate in Sydney. So I met this bloke by the name of Vasco, and he wrote a book on 9/11. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. Yeah, I'm listening.
I dropped out. So this Vasco wrote a book on 9/11, detailing how Mossad and the Zionists were all involved. Set it all up. Set it all up so they could get into Iraq. They could restructure the Middle East. Forever wars. They could justify their existence. More funding. More funding through IPAC and everything else. And it was actually JFK. JFK was going to list the Zionist Federation of America, I think it was called at the time, was going to list them as an agency of a foreign power. And he come this close to doing it, and I think it was August, not October. He was this close. A month later, we know what happened. He was assassinated. So the Zionist Federation of America is now what they call IPAC, which I think it stands for America Israeli Public Affairs Council or something.
Mm.
But this is who funds the US Congress. So all these congressmen, they get on the Zionist titty, right? And, if they want to get elected, well, they've got to suck from the Zionist titty. That's how it works. If you don't want to suck from the Zionist titty, they just do a hatchet job on you.
It doesn't have to be a titty either. Just ask Lewinsky and Clinton, mate. But anyway. She was a Zion insert too. They paid her to go in there, and it doesn't matter. Drop it. Shouldn't have brought it up. But.
Well, did you see that footage of Zelensky some months ago when the Zionists turned up? The rabbis turned up, and they've got the shofar there, the horn. They started blowing the horn, the trumpet to war. It's just fortunately, with social media and we're all connected now. People are sharing information and we're all communicating. This information's getting out, because if this was 20 years ago or 30 years ago, we'd still be living. It's like living in the dark ages.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it blows me away, the depths of it all, and well, even just all the people of the higher society here in our country, and if not here, WA, it's amazing how in bed they are with Ukraine. Twiggy Forrest, all of them, mate. So they're complicit through association, as far as I'm concerned. Just watching the time, mate. I could be here all day with you, and that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to share screen. You said you had some stuff there you wanted to share as well. I wouldn't mind. At least then next time I might be able to have a bit more organisation.
Yeah, I've only got it on me. So I'm on my laptop at the moment. So I've only got it on my.
I've got it here. Do you want me to try and share screen? And
yeah, sure, yeah.
I at least want to just go through the motions so I can even know what I'm doing here. So if I went, I'm going to stuff this, don't you? Watch this. I think I'll present. Slides. I've got no slide. Okay. All right. Yeah, see. It said that I should be able to just share straight off, share screen. Easy with two monitors, I reckon. Okay. No. Okay. Here. I just wanted to Are you seeing this at all?
No, not seeing anything yet.
All right, go on that one. Oh, because I haven't pushed the button yet. Just the window will do it. So if I should be able to share. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, hang on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the kid? Yeah.
Yes, I'll use them. That's it, mate. So these are going onto a slide. I'm bloody ready for the national strike.
Yeah.
Oh, good day, mate. Okay. All right, so I'll bring up your stuff then. Is it? Yeah, hide that bit. I don't need that bit. It's right in the bloody way. Can I move it? Oh, yeah, move it over there. Right. Yeah, that's right. I just wanted to go through the motions. At least next time I'll have a bit more of an idea. And not only that, I'll be a bit more confident just to roll these out each day if I have to. Right, let's go. Geez, that we didn't go there. I put them all up there before. All right, no worries. Where did I send that? All right, I apologise, mate. I don't have your I didn't put them on my main channel, did I? It doesn't matter if they did, I suppose. Just on there. No. Not on there. Which is how many channels and platforms I've got at the moment. No.
Yeah, it's frustrating,
Yeah.
Some people go, "Oh, have you got Instagram?" And then other people go, "Have you got, whatever, No, I only use Telegram, and now I use the TikTok, but TikTok's good. You want to get on that."
I know I bag you about it, mate. But yeah, it seems everyone that goes onto TikTok, they have really, well, they get a lot of bloody subscribers and viewers up to the thousands and millions. So how many have you got at the moment?
Oh, I just forget how many. I did a thing on fuel about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it went viral, and I got like 60,000 views in the first day, and people were pissed off,
Yep.
Like Guru's on there, Beck's on there, everyone's on there, and all this stuff about fucking data and all the rest of it. Facebook, Twitter, all these social media platforms are stealing your data. Like they know what you're looking at.
Yeah, hence why, like Twitter, you've got to actually turn your VPN off to actually engage.
Yeah.
They want to have a good look at you. I have five eyes on you and I. I don't know why, mate. We're just so friendly. We're just shooting the breeze. Nothing to worry about here.
Just historians.
Yeah. I might let you down on these slides, mate, but I'd tell you what, we could be a lot more organised next time, tomorrow, the next day or something like that.
Yeah, no worries.
I really appreciate you coming on here, though, mate, just so I could just get there. Like I said, with research, I've got all the information I need, got all the folders and the verbatim to go with it. I just haven't broadcast. This is what it's about. It's time to get out there and engage with the men and women of this country. Not only to help sort of share information, but just to reassure and to, I suppose, reinforce the quality of character that it's going to take here for us to remain the role models and the non-toxic they accuse us of, that they show that they are all the time. So, yeah. And no, I think just about any time we want to have a shoot in the breeze, this would be the way. For all our other mates out there that are on the fronts too, like, the Phils and the Corys and Hazels and Eaters and that, if you need to do something, you want to engage with people, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to hook this up for you. And guess what? You don't have to be a bossy to have a green room, mate. I've got that backstage. I just don't know how to use it yet. But it was there. It was an option. I can go green room, mate. Fully paid on all platforms, subscribed, VPNs, Wi-Fi's, fully tech, high tech, fully censored, mate. And just, I said, when I share something, they just give you just a link, no photo, no marketing. So, but anyway, we'll play this game, mate. Just like a water off a duck's back. I do have to get moving, mate, because the Guru show's on number one, and I believe they do the Twitter space tonight, which is very informative, high quality content. Yeah,
I used to really enjoy Twitter, and then they banned me.
Yeah, you and Team Stam, Steve, the same, mate. You both say, come on over. I finally come back from my second tour in the Twitter trenches, and both of you gone, mate. I can't. And then you didn't help, mate. I did. I put out that big letter to bloody Elon. Hey, Uncle Elon, can you please let my brother Sean back on? He's been a good boy and blah, blah, blah. And then, what did you do? You give me the wrong bloody call sign, mate. I said, but I'm trying to solve this.
Sorry,
help. Yeah,
sorry. Sorry about that. But I used to love Twitter, because it's short, it's sweet, and you learn how to convey your message, short.
Yes.
You do it short, and you get very witty, witty with your messaging. I used to love it. I was always on Twitter, and it's actually a really good platform because, all these scumbag politicians, they can't escape you. I mean,
No.
if they block you, then you just use the hashtag symbol, right? And, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was our thumbnail for the day. But I just thought I'd just put this up just because we're lost my screen again. I can see what we're doing there, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
I'll be able to get the hang of this. I can drive this now, mate. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's been a good session. But
we'll get Glenn on here next time too, mate. But yeah, it's good to see you. Good to shoot the breeze. It's because I really do miss you all over there. It's incredible, especially given the journey that we've had and the bond that we've sort of formed. Yeah, as family and really in real care and compassion for each other. So good to see your face. You wouldn't believe you're bloody 10 years younger than me. I swear you look older than me, mate. I keep bloody bagging you for that. It's the oldest bloke on the front. This bloke, he's bloody younger than us all.
Years of abuse on the waterfront.
Yeah, so I've got my farm and stuff on. I've been harvesting honey and things like that. But
no, that's
I'm
good.
going to call it quits there and go catch up with the general and make sure he's all right. Make sure I'm on time. But mate, I'll speak to you afterwards. But we'll do this again, like straight away. If I keep on it, like even like next day, tomorrow, the next day, yeah, mate, we'll make this a real thing, and I'll get all these cobwebs out, get used to these platforms because like I said, the intelligence we got, the research, the links, it's we've got everything. Except the accountability, that's the part that's coming. So support your national strike. Don't pay your rates. Guess what? You might as well do it now. We've got each other's back. The support resources, the networks. Well, I'm sharing screens. I believe I.
So yeah, just with that. So have you seen how the armor guard? This is all of course, all very convenient. It's all part of this great reset narrative that their fucking agenda. So armor guard have announced. What they're going into fucking liquidation or something.
Really?
You know what's really interesting? I'm trying to think when it was, 2011 maybe. We actually had a terminal manager come to Patrick, who was from Armour Guard. Now this guy was an accountant, right? So they got this guy in to crunch the numbers for automation and the redundancies that they were, that they were pursuing. So 2015, 2012, we went through the EBA. They didn't say a word about automation or redundancies. Negotiated the EBA. 2 days later, they announced in the Sydney Morning Herald or the Financial Review, whatever it was, that they're going to automate. So they got this guy in to crunch the numbers. This guy come from Armour Guard. Now all of a sudden, Armour Guard are saying they're going into liquidation, right? This guy was a really smart bloke, but obviously I'm certain, like they've been planning this for a long time, right? One of the other CEOs that they had at Asciano, John Mullen, he come from DHL, which was it's a German postal service.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, I can actually recall being in an EBA meeting when one of the terminal managers spelled out to the committee, I was on the committee at the time, what their agenda was. So they wanted to control the entire supply chain. So this is why they had the bloke from DHL in, right? Because they needed his expertise, show them what they needed to do. So they got rid of him. They had the guy from Armour Guard, got his expertise. He'd done what he had to do. Then they got the bloke from DHL, and he it's all about the supply chain and logistics. So they want to control the entire supply chain, right? From the port, from when it's unloaded, the trucking, and of course the postal service. And we go back further. This was all.
There's no right reason why you'd want all that, mate. For all reasons, the power, the money, they're all the wrong reasons.
Monopoly.
There's no right reason. Yeah,
it's a monopoly, and of course, if you're not part of this new digital system, what they intend to do, if you're not part of this digital system, you won't be trading. This is revelation stuff. This is Mark of the Beast.
Yeah. I've been reading, mate. Yeah.
But anyway, look, we just got to keep fighting. We just got to keep fighting, keep exposing them. People are waking up.
Well, it is, and we're doing it the right way. a lot of the time, well, with that not only censored, they had such a good marketing strategy against us, paid insert that they were dead against us, that they brought us into disrepute as well. It's taken this long for us to earn the trust back of our neighbours even. Mate, I still haven't won any of my family back, mate. I hope they fucking now they're still, mate. I hope they still love me. I still bloody love them, I tell you, but we'll go for the throat until the time's come, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you will. You'll get them back. You'll get them
it
back.
fucking hurts, mate. It hurts. But I don't mention that, sorry. We better go off screen now anyway before I start going down these paths. I haven't brought any of that stuff up this whole 4 years. I haven't brought any of that up. That's my problem. So, yeah. It's there.
Yeah, no, it'll all work out. It'll all work out. Just got to have faith. You just got to have faith, Dean. That's it,
Mate, I've got that, mate. I've never been been steadfast in the faith. Like, I was just beside myself with joy yesterday because he's risen. It's real.
Yep.
What he did and the way it's all played out for us.
Yeah, and just on this stand,
not Israel, not the Wailing Wall, not the temple, not the strip, for the beloved, for the children, no matter who. You love God and acknowledge that He's got you. It's the most important thing ever in history. There never will be, other than the second coming. Glory, mate. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just on this quickly.
Yeah, mate.
So they've got these 5 red heifers in Jerusalem at the moment, right? And this is what's actually triggered the October 7th attack, right? So they've got these 5 red heifers. They came from Texas. Now these red heifers, this is all Old Testament stuff. They can't be unblemished. They've got to be unblemished. Could never have laboured. Could never have been on the yoke. There's a whole schedule of what would discount them. One of them's been counted out already, so they've got 4 left. They intend. So we've got until the 10th of April. These Zionists are trying to bring back their Messiah, who is the Antichrist, right? Like,
that's right. Yeah. Premeditated towards bringing the second coming on. So even what the Bible, the gospel might say, it doesn't matter. These guys are bringing it on, but they're trying to create it.
Yeah. And the Sabbatean Frankists. So if you get a chance, look up the Sabbatean Frankists. They are the epitome of evil. And there's actually some footage. I'll have to share it. There's actually footage of this rabbi, this Lubavitch rabbi. I'm just trying to think of his name. Schneerson. His name's Schneerson, right? This guy was this Schneerson. He's the Lubavitch rabbi. These are the extremists. And there's footage of him in 1990. I think it was 18th of November 1990. He's talking to Netanyahu and saying how basically Netanyahu has not done enough to bring about the return of the Messiah, and basically that he needs to try harder. I'll send you the link.
Maybe we'll do the show on that next time, and I'll put a bit more time in. Mate, I missed it when you said at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Like, yeah. So when I'm thinking 5 o'clock here time, mate, I said I just airheaded it today. So yeah,
not to worry. We'll do
that. I'll speak to you and we'll have a quick show and actually have a bit more planned, and we'll bring it straight in there because it's very interesting stuff, mate. I did read a bit of the prophecy on the heifers and things, and they're living in the Old Testament. They've made no acknowledgement at all of the New Testament, the covenant we have of Jesus. Why? Because he rose. He defeated death and therefore defeated the devil.
Yeah.
He won, mate. He won.
Yeah.
But so why would they want to go back to all this Old Testament shit? Why? Because they're not in it for the love of God and Jesus. They're not. It's a different reason, mate. And we're starting to see that. So,
and it's all about money lending, right? That's what it's about. It's about money lending. So the reason why they worship Taurus and the bull, and it's all about money lending. It's and this is why we see the bull. So they talk about stock markets or stock trading, right? Stock trading cattle, and then the stock market. So you know about the bull.
The bull market. Yeah, so you got the bull and the bear.
There's bull markets.
Bull and the bear market.
There's the financial bull, right? The golden bull.
And they've got that right in the front of Wall Street too. That golden bull, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I saw it at Frankfurt in Germany. They call Frankfurt Frankfurt. This is years ago when my wife and I went through Germany. But yeah, the golden bull, right? This is what it was all to do. It was all to do with money lending and trading, and this is the money class, and they don't want to work.
Yes, they don't give a shit about you, man. It's got nothing to. That's why they're fighting so hard for Jerusalem, and they think that they're the heirs of that kingdom. He never promised us Jerusalem. He told us what's going to happen, and he'll come for us, his beloved, and he'll show us the place he chose for us to dwell. So they're blatantly going against all of that and showing themselves out. So I'm really proud of you and what you've done at the Palestine people there, mate. I think a lot of it's for the right reason. I'm very jealous. Yeah, I can navigate this one. You navigated that really well, mate. Because it's probably not a front I would have got on. I'm very jealous or maybe not triggered, but upset that's the biggest rise in people for a reason in this country. I suppose it's what you get when you concentrate on multicultural instead of our own, very wealthy Australian culture. But mate, you're doing that really well. And I know the infiltration on that front as well, on all sorts, because you've seen it, the Zionists, all sorts. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I won't go there. But no, I'm very proud of you, mate. I love seeing your signs each week. I'm loving your TikToks, so I'm forwarding them on. I've just got to get a bit better at it. I'm covering so many bloody platforms and pages here. I just got to get you all the material, good stuff onto the Twitter sphere, mate, because it's A grade.
No, thanks, Dan. And commendations to you as well. Like all the work you're doing. And getting the information.
I'm working hard. Yeah.
It's sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. It has,
but I feel like I'm fresh. I'm ready to go again.
Yeah. No, we just got to keep chipping away, and pick each other up. If someone's struggling, you can only move as fast as the slowest man.
That's it, mate. Well, I'll put myself next in line to General Guru there, mate, and I'll work smarter, not harder. And I'll just get here and I'll dictate to this screen and just hopefully there'll be a million people running behind me because it seems to be working for Guru and he's done an incredible job. So anyone that's got any hang-ups or misconceptions or just opinions about the people on the different fronts who speak to me, and I'll listen, mate. I really do listen. It doesn't mean that I'm going to comply, but why am I 100% behind all these people? Why? Because I've met them. They're just like you and me. We're all fallible or whatever, but they've chosen to give a care. And it's also, it shows you how far I will go for you on any front. If you're trying to do the right thing and just get it out there, mate, I'm not going to question all this. I'm just going to be there for you, right beside you on all the fronts and pretty much where we have been. And so now what you see is probably one of the most united groups, movements, people that on the domestic level that this country's ever seen. It's all right that you don't like this. I mean, there's a couple of them I don't like and probably good reason, but I definitely appreciate them and the demographic that they reach that I can't reach and everything like that. But it's time just to put it down, take a deep breath and just move in and be beside each other for all those right reasons.
Yeah, it's. I've been saying this for a long time. That we have to build a united front. That's the only way we're going to get out of this, and that's with a united front. And
it's no use picking on people. If they're no good, they'll expose themselves. Give them more rope, mate. Be there with them. But at least you'll see them if they stuff up. But we've come this far down the track, mate. Other than being infiltrated Zionists or something, I think we've found them all out, mate. Those ones that are here, mate, we've toughed out. only the real care, not even money would make a person tough it out this long, because it's been bloody hard, mate. If you tough it out this long for the right reasons, yeah.
It's destroyed people, it's destroyed families, it's destroyed, people have lost jobs. A lot of people have been able to move on and find work. Some of us, I'm struggling to get a job.
I don't know how hard you've tried, mate. Yeah.
No, I don't even get government assistance.
Mate. You couldn't let a ball drop, mate. Yeah.
We just need to build this united front. Everyone, you don't have to like each other. You just got to work together. That's simple. We just work together, get the job done, and we can have the Cold War. We can have the Cold War once we're done. If you just want to carry on, let's just get the job done. Sort the differences out afterward. Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. It's not hard. We just got to work together. That's it. And we work together.
And if it all fails, mate, and you start getting triggered, just remove yourself. Extra stage left. For all your men that do get emotional or righteous anger, just remember, if you can't get your words right, probably just to take a step back, because your words are very important. If you start cursing and just going off, you're probably losing that. You're probably getting emotionally hijacked and going to lose the battle. So just someone move in, because you need to have your grown-up words here, mate, which are failing me even here at the moment. Adorn the armour of God, use the different parts of the armour, comprehend what they are and how they help your internal growth, so you are tempered from Trigger City and then they remain triggered. I don't know what happens. Yeah, you go.
That's something I've told you about this before, like when I started going to these rallies, and I had to sign that said Albo Judas, and I triggered a few of these young lefty activists. First of all, it was, that's anti-Semitic. I said, how's it anti-Semitic? I said, it's historical fact. Well, Judas, you're saying Judas. So, what are you talking about? That's anti-Semitic. You're Judas. That's a Jew. I said, well, yeah. I said he was a Jew. I said, and he betrayed Christ. And of course, the correlation was that Albo Judas, right? And didn't like it.
I get it, mate. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, we all do, right? That's anti-Semitic. I said, no, it's not anti-Semitic. I said, it's historical fact. Well, you should change your side. So I was getting attacked. I actually got attacked by someone, right? Anyway, as this happened, we just started walking past. So we're in the protest march, St. Mary's Cathedral, and I thought, how ironic, it was. And I looked down. So this young lefty dispersed, and she goes, "Oh, that's right." She goes, "Oh, do you think we're in a religious war?" I said, "Yeah."
That's the one. Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, we are." So she was like one of these young LGBT, fucking alphabet soup, whatever it is.
She was coming.
Yeah, we are in a religious war. I said, we're in a religious war against Zionism. Anyway, she fucking didn't like that. So when she's dispersed, and I'm thinking to myself, am I living in some kind of fucking warped fucking fourth dimension? I look down, no bullshit, I look down at the guy in front of me. Now, this guy had earrings on, right? This is a bloke, but he was like in between, right? He had these earrings. They were like guitar picks, and each one said pride, right? I look down, I see the back of his calf, a tattoo on the back of his leg of a church on fire. Now, this is happening as we're just about to go past St. Mary's Cathedral. I'm thinking, am I living in some fucking warped fourth dimension? Anyway, and I thought the audacity of these people, they're offended by my sign, but yet I'm not allowed to be offended by their stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, so I've thought very hard on what you said then, because I remember that one, and it makes me consider, well, how am I going to take it when I'm triggered? Because they've come to use this word religious war to try and wind you up.
Yeah.
and that's where the religions is part of their design. I think the answer is no. That's what they're trying to do to us, is put us in a religious war. But quite clearly, this is a spiritual war. If you don't agree,
correct. Yeah,
and if you don't agree, don't worry. I've got your back, mate. I'm praying for you right now. But,
It's a spirit.
Owning the words.
Yeah.
And preempting the battle to get it right, so you can.
Yeah. But they don't. These communists, they don't acknowledge Christ either. Well, actually they do. So the upper echelons of the communists. So there's religion for them, right? There's spirituality for them, but everyone else, all the plebs and the underlings, there's none of that for them, because that is how they oppress them. That is how they keep people oppressed, by breaking their spirituality, right?
Yeah.
It's like the old methods with breaking in a horse. You break its spirit, right? That was a whole thing. I'm not into that. I grew up with horses, right? Training horses, or do anything with a horse, but that's what the old timers used to do. They used to break the spirit of the horse.
It's what they've done with men too.
That's what the military.
So religions and that, it's always bad this and they're bad and they've got it wrong here and they're wrong there and so no one wants to have a bar. It's like religious. No, not me, mate. Promise, I'm not religious. I'm not going there. So they get let go it all together. The same as the men. Bad man is bad, toxic is bad that. So the kid's got two choice. You want to be a man? No, I'm not going to be a bad man. Promise, mum, promise. So what? He's going to be a bad man, or queer as Qantas? Because the option of a good man, well, they don't even try and embrace that anymore. Don't have the examples of it. Hence the bull roarers, and that's where we're coming, mate. Just showing the deep quality and character, the spiritual fortitude of man, and we're to be embraced, not to be discarded. So anyway, mate, we go on for hours. I do have to go. I'm sorry. I don't know what happens when I push this button, Sean. So we might go to a back screen again. I don't know. If not, I'll sit there and burst into flames with you. Might have a sneaky scotch out there. I don't know. But I'll send play to here to everyone out there who might be listening. It says we're live. I guess we've gone out on a few platforms. Thank you very much. Not organised or anything at all, so we can only get better. But thank you for being there. I have learned how to share screen, mate. Yeah, I enjoy doing this more often. And if you're out there, especially WA members, I would like to engage with you and bring it all up. So God bless you all on this Holy Monday.
Yep. He has risen.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, Dan. Look, take care. Take care, and mate. We'll catch up again soon.
You there, mate. You did.
Yeah.
And I've got me Benedictine cross there, but I've wired up so much I couldn't bring it down. So, but
not to worry.
Yeah. All right, mate.
All right,
I'll push see it, everyone. I'll see if I see you on the other side. If not, I'll give you a quick call, bro.
All right. Take care.